What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Tong. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. We're going into the weekend, so hope that y'all have some fun things planned. If not, I hope that you're just planning to relax. Okay, Milo, this is what we're not going to do. Sit down, please. Guys, I really enjoy recording these episodes at home, just being in the comfort of my own home and not having to go out to record. But this dog really be making me want to go to the studio. Okay. Please sit down. Anyway, y'all. So hope you're having an amazing Friday so far. And yeah, we just had our solar eclipse this past Monday. I don't know if y'all saw it. I didn't see it. I'm not playing around with no solar eclipse. I don't need to see that. Okay. The energy itself is enough to be felt. So whether y'all saw it, you didn't see it, you felt it, you didn't feel it. We also had earthquakes. Like it's just been crazy. So I hope you guys are surviving. I hope you're taking care of yourself and all that. But today, I wanted to get into this topic that I feel like is highly requested. And I feel like a lot of people ask me about these specific qualities within myself. And people are always like, how are you always staying so consistent? How do you stay so disciplined? How are you always like getting things done? You have so much on your plate. You're doing this, you're doing that, but you're still able to like show up consistently online, on social media, on the podcast, on YouTube, and classes. And I'm just like, I got y'all. Okay. I'm about to give y'all 3 simple tips. Okay. How simple you think they are is completely up to you. I think they're pretty simple with consistency, obviously, like just keeping in mind that these things are completely up to you because we do control our reality, right? And you get the choices. You get to wake up and choose, am I going to do this or am I going to do that? Am I going to stay in my procrastination era? That was literally, I feel like, episode 1. If you guys go back to the pilot, I talked about ending my procrastination era and really coming out of just being in this space of like, okay, I'm just going to wait. Okay, just waiting for the right time. Okay, just waiting for someone to push me. Okay, waiting for someone to ask me to get this done. And things just don't work like that. If you really want to be successful, if you really want to see change, if you really want to see things play out differently in your life, you have to do things differently. Okay, you have to take action. And I know there's people out here who are like, you just have to be delusional, you just have to just wait on like God's timing. And while that is correct, you still have to take action, sweetie. Okay, we can both wait for the timing of the universe and we can take the action, and those things will come together and sync beautifully. Okay, but we do have to show up. We have to show up and put the work in. So I got you guys today. I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to become more disciplined and consistent. And I really feel like discipline is the main topic here. Like we've had episodes previously. I want to say one particular episode when we had our self-love series back in like January, February, where we talked about discipline being a form of self-love. But with discipline comes consistency. Discipline is more of like a mindset, right? Discipline is like a characteristic. And then consistency is more of like that action, right? Just staying consistent with your action. So let's dive in. Okay. So number 1 for me is going to be, this is so funny because I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm doing this literally right now. Okay. I'm recording this episode late. I actually was on my friend's podcast episode earlier and we were like chopping it up and all that. And like I got home, it's pretty late, but obviously like I need to record my podcast. And one of the things, like I'm going to give you guys a tip right now. Okay. Main tip, reward yourself. Give yourself something to look forward to. So you could take this with, a grain of salt, or it doesn't have to be the same reward. Okay. Whatever you like or whatever is important to you might not be the same. Milo, please don't mess up my mic situation, please. But what might not be important to you, right? Or what is important to you might not be important or considered a reward to me. So for instance, I got myself a nice little dessert today, okay? And I told myself, we're not going to have that dessert until we finish this podcast, until we sit down and we hit record and we get it done. Then you can go and you can enjoy your dessert, okay? Because you feel like you deserve it now. Okay, I got something done. It's like, it's tit for tat, right? I do this. And even though this is not like torturous, right? Like it could be worse, right? It could be like, oh, girl, you got to go like do laundry and then you could have the dessert, or like you got to clean the bathroom and then you could have the dessert. But I think that we just have to choose like what is really considered a reward for us. So another example of a nice reward could be, okay, I'm going to treat myself to a dance class. I'm going to take myself out to dinner if I get so and so done, right? It really just depends on like, number one, what you like, what you enjoy, what's considered a reward, right? And also like what is the job or the task that needs to be completed? What do you need to get done, right? So think of those small things, and it doesn't have to be anything big. Like dessert is really not that big of a deal, but it's a nice thing, right? Like don't we all like dessert? I don't know, maybe you don't. I don't really, honestly, I'm going to I'm going to be real with y'all, okay? Let's just be real. I really am not a big dessert person, but I'm on my cycle right now. And that is really like the only time that I will crave like something chocolatey, something sweet. And I will allow myself to have it because that's once a month. So I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to have the dessert. Okay. And I'm going to get this podcast done. So yeah, so that's number one, guys. Find ways to reward yourself, treat yourself, do something nice for yourself, but make sure that you are getting whatever you need to get done. Okay. So number two, this is great if you are someone who is like a visual learner, or you like to visualize things, or you need to see things on paper, or you need to see the bigger picture. So this one is just reminding yourself of what you're trying to achieve through videos, images, pictures, mood boards, right? Anything. It could be something that you maybe have. It could be a poster, it could be a whiteboard where you have like your actual ideas written down. It could be a vision board where you have pictures of some things that you either want, right? Things that you want to come into your life, things that you're working on, places that you want to go. Like there's different ways to create a vision board. It doesn't have to be the standard way that I feel like most people tell you a vision board is supposed to be, like, oh, just put a bunch of pictures of like places that you want to go, or just a bunch of random pictures of like money and random words. Like it has to mean something to you. Like your vision is never going to be the same as someone else's. So like, and it could be, but your vision board has to make sense to you, right? So it doesn't just have to be a vision board. It could be maybe you just going on your Instagram. I talked about this on my friend's podcast. Like I like to go on my Instagram and like study. Like I like to study what I'm doing, posts that I've, put out that have done well, or posts that like I really like. I like to be proud of my work. So I like to go back and really just take a look, like, oh, I like that post. Like we should do more of that. I like that picture. Okay, this is cool. Like I like the aesthetic of my page. I like where this is going. So it could be anything that's really going to motivate you. That's really what we want, right? We want to create images and reminders and things that are really going to push us to take action, right? It could also be maybe someone that you look up to, someone who's doing similar things that you're doing, things that you want to start doing. Or this could be someone that, just pushes you, that makes you want to do better. So always having those reminders in the back of your mind, or just a random picture in your car. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. It could be your phone screen. What do you call it? Screen lock, screen, whatever, screensaver, desktop picture, whatever. It could be any of that. Okay. So just figure out like what works for you. Also, something that works well for me is like comparison and contrast. And I don't mean this in like comparing myself to other people. I mean like comparing like old to now, or like future to past, or things like that. For instance, I could look at a video of me dancing from like 3 years ago, and then maybe look at a video of me dancing like last week. So that's a good way to like compare and contrast, right? Like, okay, like I'm making strides, right? So it's kind of just allowing yourself to see the growth, right? Sometimes like we don't always see our growth or we don't always see our progress, and we're so hard on ourselves about what we're not doing and what we could do better. But it's nice to just see that you actually are doing better, that you actually are making strides, that you actually are improving. So it's nice to have that contrast. So whatever that means for you, maybe looking back, if you're an artist, looking back at old pieces of art, old things that you've done. If you're a content creator, a YouTuber, a podcaster, maybe going back to like old episodes or old videos or old posts and kind of like comparing where you were to where you are now to kind of see the growth. Because that's definitely something that's motivating. And I don't know if that's just with me, but I definitely get motivated when I see that I am growing and moving in the right direction. Okay, the last way that we can stay more disciplined and consistent is by having an accountability partner. Okay, and this can come in many different forms. It could be a friend, it could be a coach, it could be a mentor, it could be an app. There's like apps that can remind you to do things. There's Notion. Like Notion is a great app that I use. I use it on my desktop, but you could set up like a weekly schedule, you could set up to-do lists, you could set up tasks. Like there's so many things out here, like especially now in this whole world of like AI, you can definitely find something. I have my Google Nest. I can have my Google Nest literally like just tell me a reminder randomly in the middle of the day. Girl, go do blah blah blah, go do laundry, email this person, whatever. You can use Siri. There's literally no excuse why you cannot be reminded or encouraged or motivated to get things done when we have so many resources. And I think the best resource, it's going to depend on you, but I think the best resource is a person, an actual person. So this could be a family member, it could be a best friend, it could be someone in your field, someone that you work with, a coworker, it could be your boss, it could be anybody who you truly feel like is going to step up to the plate and get serious and hold you accountable and ask you, are you doing these things? Are you staying on top of your tasks, your to-do list, your goals, right? So really find that person. It could be one person, it could be multiple people, maybe just reminding you of different things, but that's a super easy task. So go ahead, find your people, find your apps, do what you need to do because it's time to take action, honey. Like I'm feeling very like just energized, inspired, motivated, especially like this month, April, now officially having spring. We just went through this solar eclipse where like it really is just sparking change. That's really what this whole thing is about. It's about sparking change, creating new energy, creating new, just new everything. So I hope you guys feel inspired by this episode. I hope that this was helpful. And I hope that you guys are able to implement, if not one, all three of these tips today. And if you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure you rate and review the podcast so that it can reach more people just like you. This really helps the podcast grow and show up on more people's feeds wherever they're listening to it. Also, if you guys are on YouTube, hit that like button, okay? Drop a comment. Let me know what stuck with you today in this conversation. And make sure you're subscribed to this channel as well. Follow us over on Instagram, Respect Kitty, and our new podcast page, Let's Just Be Real Pod. And thank you guys so much. I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care, y'all.